Welcome back to Homeschool Podcast. I missed you guys. It's been a long weekend. I hope that you enjoyed the last episode. I had a lot of fun talking about it, and I'm glad that you're tuned in today because you got a lot of options for podcasts. So it means the world to us that you're here at Homeschool Podcast. I'm your host, and today we do have a guest. But today actually is a little bit different. Today is a swap cast. So I'm going to be a guest on someone else's podcast, but you can catch it right here on the usual Homeschool Podcast feed. And so technically, I didn't want to say my guest today because technically I'm her guest. So she's going to take the reins here in just a second. So help me welcome Kristy Belich, everybody. And I am going to be doing her podcast, which is The Spiritual Travels of a Firewolf. I nailed it. I'm a damn professional.
Hello.
I'm a damn professional. I didn't write it down or anything. So I'm going to be doing her podcast. So you guys, I hope you enjoy it. And at the end, she'll tell you how to find it and all that stuff to find her other episodes with other guests, I'm sure. And and that's it, you guys. So we're going to begin in just a moment. I'm going to let her take the reins. But first, I'd like to ask everybody to please help support the Homeschool Podcast in any way you can. And there's several ways to do that. We have plenty of sponsors, and you can find them by going to homeschooledpod.com. Click on sponsors, and you'll find many different products and services there, and a lot of which are going to help you with your holiday shopping. For example, this episode is brought to you by Uni Pizza Ovens. Uni Pizza Ovens are, listen guys, since they've become our sponsors, I've been talking about a little bit. People are hitting me up asking me about it. They're pretty awesome, and I am fully considering getting one myself. Uni Pizza Ovens allows anybody to have a pizza oven at their house, okay? If you got a backyard, a patio, or you just tailgate a lot, or you go to the park, to have barbecues with the family and stuff like that, you're going to be able to have your own pizza oven, all right? No more is it only the rich people have pizza ovens. You can have one too, all right? I know I tell this story all the time. I had a friend when I was a kid, his backyard had a built-in brick pizza oven, and I'm like, that's rich, all right? I'm never going to have that. But now anybody can have it, okay? Uni Pizza Ovens has several different styles and sizes to suit everybody's needs. There's even portable pizza ovens, which are great for tailgates, taking to other people's houses, taking to the park for, instead of taking your little tailgate barbecue, you take your little tailgate pizza oven. They provide you with everything, the little wood chips, everything that you need, and it's not going to break the bank, guys, and it makes a great holiday gift. So use my link to help support the show. It's right there in the description, or you can go to homeschooledpod.com, click on sponsors, click the Uni Pizza Oven banner. And this episode is also brought to you by True Dog. True Dog is something I'm really proud of as a pet owner. I take pride in what I give my dog, what he consumes. I don't just give him any type of crappy dog food that you can buy at the store. I've learned that probably 6 years ago, because if you got to pay attention to what you're giving your dog. You wouldn't eat some of this stuff, so why would you give it to your dog? They're like a part of the family. And when I take my dog out places, people tell me, why does your dog look so young? My dog is almost 9 years old. If you look at him, people think he's 2. And I'll tell you what it is. It's walking. First of all, it's a lot of love. Secondly, it's a lot of walking. He walks 2 to 4 miles every day. And it's what you feed him. Okay, the more you'll talk to people today, the more you tell you that their dog has developed allergies. Now, when I was a kid, I never saw a dog with allergies. I had dogs my whole life. They never had allergies. Allergies are getting worse and worse and worse in pets, and it's because the food is changing. The chemicals and products that they're putting inside your dog's food is worse than it's ever been, and a lot of them are developing allergies. So make sure you know what you're giving your dog. I personally, for years, have been making homemade dog food, but not everybody can do that. So you're going to want to check out True Dog, which has free dried dog food, and it ships out to you. They also have dog treats, and what I love about them is their dental products, because dogs can develop diseases because of their dental issues, and they hate it when you try to brush their teeth to the point where you're not going to do it every day like you should, but you don't want to because they don't let you. So what happens is True Dog has a little spray for you. All you do, lift up their lip, little spray on the gums, and it's as good as brushing your dog's teeth. All right. And for the holidays, they have a gift basket. You got the food, you got the dog treats, the dental treats, and the spray. And I'm going to hook you up right now. Use promo code HOLIDAY21, all caps, HOLIDAY, and then the number 21 for 30% off. Just please do me a personal favor and use my link. It'll be in the description of this podcast, and it will also be at homeschoolpod.com. Click on sponsors. All right. Thank you for everybody, especially the listeners of Kristy's podcast who don't normally have to probably listen to my ads. But and thank you to the Homeschool podcast listeners for continuing to support our show. And I will kick it over to your host for today, Kristy Belich.
Holiday 21, if you want a happy, well-fed dog. That's so cute.
Yeah.
What kind of dog do you have?
I have a pit bull, sort of. I guess you can call him that. I think he's mixed with a bunch of stuff. I got him at a rescue years ago, maybe like 7 years ago.
Aw, pit bulls are the best.
They are.
They're such good dogs.
I've
They're
had
like
them. I've had them like my whole life, and they're so loyal. I've had pit bulls and boxers like my whole life.
and what can I ask you a question? Because okay, so here's the reason why Augustino is so sweet.
Oh, thank you.
I have a little podcast that could, and I record off of my phone. And Augustino was like, let's do Zoom. So I'm very shy on Zoom. I'm just kind of getting the hang of it. And he is being super sweet and just kind of helping me with
Oh,
this
no worries.
podcast today. So thank you, Augustino.
I'm
And it's
still
just, I
I'm
think
still
it's so
building up my
funny
YouTube
because
anyway, so most people are not watching this. Most people are listening.
it's just this is a testament to you because the reason why I even reached out to you was because I read a tweet of yours and then I saw a video on your Instagram about you said that you've been putting in the time for 12 years and I'm just paraphrasing, but you said that you've been putting in the time for 12 years and that finally people are kind of like saying, "Oh, I see that you're grinding. You're really out there." And you're like, "I've been out there for 12 years." Like,
Yeah.
and that really hit me so hard because for one thing, you are such a generous kind of person. And the fact that I want to say, thank you because you were there for me during a really hard time and you had me on your podcast. So I just want to thank you.
Oh, yeah.
And
It was no effort at all.
it's just really sweet. And I wanted to ask you because I have been listening to your podcast while I was on the road. I love your solo episode. I know you have great guests. I love your solo episodes too.
Thank you.
And you said something about moving brick by brick in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to ask you, like, in comedy, in life, what you're doing now, how has 2020 and how has now kind of changed that game for you, moving brick by brick?
When you say now, you mean 2021, more current?
Oh yeah, this year because I've seen you've been out on the road.
Yeah, 2021 has been a very busy year for me, and 2020 was, for all of us, not so busy. So in terms of, I think what you're asking is, how am I applying my methods of taking things apart brick by brick to result in my
Yeah,
busy 2021 year?
yeah, because when I listened to you, so backstory, I was like up in Oklahoma City, just like driving around Postmates, and I listened to one of your podcasts about how you had just first gotten on stage for I don't know what it had been like 6, 7 months, and how you needed that psychologically for yourself. And now you're just out there like pumping it, and just I saw you were in Canada, like you're in Austin, you're in different states. And it's just so interesting to see like that progression for you. And to even with that, to see that tweet come out, I was like, fuck, man, like I want to hear like about what's going on progression wise, how it feels for you.
100%. And I'm still on that journey. I'm still putting it together and trying to figure it out. But I do know that the many recipes for success, and obviously it's hard work, obviously it's consistency. There's so many recipes for success, and not one of them on their own will do it. It's all of them coming together. And I have found that yeah, those that I mentioned is taking things apart brick by brick, not necessarily to move you forward, but I say that to help you not get discouraged from not trying to move forward. Because the brick that I'm talking about is building a wall. So it's representing a wall. And each brick represents a problem in your life. Believe it or not, that video that I posted about that is what I said was, is all the things in life seem to stack up all at once and they build a wall. And once you have this wall in front of you, it seems like you will never be able to get through it. So you don't even try most of the time. Like you just kind of feel defeated and you don't go after it. And believe it or not, I posted that video that you're talking about. And I actually had a lot of negative feedback to that video. A lot of negative feedback. And there was a lot of comments from people reaching out to me. You know what people commented the most? Because I was spitting off things that could be a brick. And I was saying bills, whatever, rejection, your credit is not enough to get you the thing that you want, and all this stuff. And one of the things I threw out there was child support. And I said, somebody comes after you for child support, that's a brick in a wall. And I actually got a lot of negative feedback from people reaching out to me saying like, child support shouldn't be a brick. Be a man, own up to it, take care of your kids and stuff like that. I got that. I don't think that people really understood the point I was trying to make. And I don't even have kids. I do know people that, first of all, you cannot be the child and someone's trying to say that that's your child and come after you for child support. And the point isn't that you shouldn't try to take care of your kids. Absolutely, you should step up and be a man or a woman and pay your child support dues. But the point is that if you don't have the money and the bill hit you, your bills hit you, rent hit you, and your friend died hit you, and then some other person out of nowhere comes up and says you owe me money for child support, it could just be the wrong time, and everything builds a wall was the point I was getting at. Not that, you shouldn't own up to your responsibilities. The whole thing was about owning up to your responsibilities. It was just trying to discourage people from not trying because it was too many at once, which is what I was talking about. So to talk about, how I've transitioned into my 2021 year from 2020 of going through depression. And, mentally it disturbed a lot of people that weren't able to do what they love, especially artists, all people in general, regardless of your occupation. It takes its mental toll on you to be locked in, let alone be taken away from something you enjoy doing and told that you're not able to do it and that you're non-essential. It's basically what we were told. You're not essential because, you can look across the yard or whatever, or the street, and you might see someone working, and you look at yourself and you're not working. And they were told they were essential, and you were told that you were not essential. Now, obviously that's true in some cases. A nurse or a doctor during a health pandemic is essential, and a stand-up comedian wouldn't be in that sense. But you're looking across the street at someone working a McDonald's cash register. I have no offense to anyone who works McDonald's. It's an honest living to make an hourly wage and feed your family. But to tell you that that's essential and you're not, how is serving unhealthy fast food essential in a health crisis? But anyway, the point is that we're not essential, and it's crushing for anybody to hear you're not important enough to go do what you do. Your passion, your art, it's not important enough. Art was always important. It really, really reached people and touched people. Paintings really touched and moved people. Movies, anything that moves you is art. And music, of course. We couldn't have live music. And music live is the best version of it. I think it's, who was it? A famous musician once said, I want to say like Beethoven or something like that, but I could totally be wrong. That once said that life without music would be a mistake. And, so art has been proven to, really be essential. And, we were told that we're not important is the nice way of saying it. Not essential is the nice way of saying you're not important. And it hurts. It hurts. And we were depressed. We were locked in. And all of these things could be a brick. That's just, but not to mention your bills. Some people made more money during the pandemic because of unemployment. They made more money than they ever did. I know, some comics that aren't really professional touring comics, and they made more money than they ever did on unemployment. But comics that were making their living off of being a professional comic, really lost a lot. It was hard to pay your bills, and that's another brick. And all these things pile up. My friend passed away. That was another brick. And the way that you tear down this wall is brick by brick, because if you stare down this huge obstacle, it's intimidating and you feel defeated and you don't even think you'll ever get above it. So you may not even try, and you'll just and I think that's how a lot of people fall downhill, is they don't even try. And I'm trying to tell people that you can defeat this wall if you take it apart brick by brick. And for me, what that means, so here's my action, because it's easy to say something. Here's my action, is that as silly as it sounds, lists are very important. To write everything down that you need to do, and then you number them in the order that they need to be done, whichever ones are time sensitive. And then you go do them. And then you write a daily list from the master list. You go, I'll do these on Monday, I'll do these on Tuesday, I'll do these. And then you fill up and you just keep going and you just keep going until you scratch them all down. And you're never going to have nothing on the list. You're going to always be adding to it because life keeps moving. And I know I'm rambling on, but you get the idea. You write them all down and you scratch them off one by one, because when you stop for a second and you think about the things that need to be done and you go, I can overcome them. I'm not going to let these beat me. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get control of my life. And you just start doing them one by one and you scratch them off. And that's a brick by brick method. And I actually, to be honest with you, I write my stand-up comedy the same way. And I'm filming a documentary right now. I've never filmed a documentary before, and I structure it the same way. I make lists of things that need to be done. I need this shot, I need that shot, I need that shot, and I write them all out. And then I go schedule days to do them. I cross them off as I do them. And then I have another list of all the same scenes in the order they should go. So when I'm editing, I'm gonna have it in the right order. And I do that for my stand-up comedy. When I write stuff, I write the jokes, not the whole joke, but I write the titles or the bullet points or anchors, as they'll call them. And I'll write them, and then I'll go, where do they need to go? Because I build my set I end with stories. I start with easy jokes that get to punchlines quick to get the audience on my side. Jokes that wouldn't have anything to do with each other. Like, I got a lot of relationship stuff. I got a stuff, and then I got stories. So if you got like individual bits that don't have anything to do with your overall set, it's just quick, funny jokes that you like, I try to open with those. They go into the stuff that has themes like relationship and then into stories in it. So I do the same thing. I write down all the jokes that I currently have that I'm working right now, and I build a set. I'm building an hour special right now. I mean, to tell you the truth, I'm like this close to filming a special. It's like, I know we're talking about a lot here, but again, going back to 2021 being very busy for me. This year I've been on the road since February till now, and headlining, and I have the hour. I have the hour. I've had the hour all year, but if I look at my hour in February and I look at my hour now, it's a completely different performer. I've like worked an hour all year long, and it's like the same material, but it's a different performer. It's like, comics want to go, I want to build an hour. Now, having the time is a completely different thing than being a headliner. You can have 60 minutes, but then there's like someone who has 60 minutes and then somebody who's a headliner, and you can see the difference. And, I've learned that over the years from watching. I mean, Joey Diaz told me that once, how he would start to headline because he was getting more popular, and he would go watch other headliners, and he could see that he wasn't at their level yet. He had the material, but it was like the presence of a headliner, a performance that is just something else. And I've saw this year myself become that. And every show I'm adding in new jokes that go with the old ones. So these bits are becoming more powerful and longer. And I'm like so close to it being like a perfect hour I've built. And I'd like to film something really soon. So, but that's how you build it. You just same thing. Lists are so important. Just write the jokes one by one. And where do they need to go? Cross them off. Anyway, I'll let you the longest answer ever for.
No, it's beautiful. I the question is, you said you were building that hour to a performer. What clicked for you this year? Where was that switch?
It's it's something that I realized recently. I think in Canada I realized it. Who knows when it switched? But it was probably a very gradual thing. It probably wasn't overnight, but it's just, I don't think you're going to get that unless you perform 60 minutes consistently for a year. You know what I mean? You'll start to, it's just practice, practice, practice. And I don't know when it switched, but I know that I realized that I was different in Canada. I was just like so smooth. Like it just came to me. It was everything. It was interacting with the crowd. It was making good points. Besides your material, that's what makes a good headliner. It's everything. It's not just a great solid act. It's having a point to being up there. Having a point to be the last comic on stage. Like why I have a reason for being here. And I'm gonna get some message to you guys. And whatever that message you want to be. It doesn't have to be serious. It doesn't have to be, it could be silly, and it doesn't even have to be said. But if you can get it out there somehow with your performance or your views, and just interacting with the crowd and not being afraid to go back to your material or incorporating them in it, and without it becoming a heckle thing or feeling that they're comfortable to talk too much, it's just control. It's control of a room. And for me, I think it was sending a message to people that I'm trying to spread across the world as I tour. I think getting that message out is what has made me make that switch.
And you have a message of love. I think I remember your t-shirt is it's the world was love, right? The world
Yeah.
with the heart.
Yeah, the name of my tour all year has been Only Love Can Save the World Tour. And it really has been a world tour. I have in 2021, I have been to Dubai, Canada. You know, I've headlined just about anywhere except LA. But yeah, I've just gone everywhere. I mean, Arizona, not everywhere. I mean, there's still some cities I haven't hit yet that they're on my list for next year.
And what made you start the tour with that name and specifically?
Um, because of I forget what made me think of it, but it was like the end of 2020, and I was starting to get bookings in 2021, and I just remember thinking that the world. It started because I started saying it on my podcast. Only love can save the world. I would start ending my podcast with that saying, and it was because I kept noticing everything around me. Still to this day, is people arguing with each other. You know what I mean? Um, I mean everything, everything. I mean at the time it was BLM riots, and then you had people going, well, they're wrong. You shouldn't destroy people's property, and then you have the other part going, well, yeah, you shouldn't be racist. You know what I mean? And both were right in things, and both were wrong in things. And I feel like it's just a tactic for us to constantly be ununited. And with the pandemic, with violence and hate and racism that was going on in the world, constant division. And why I started saying that is because you took away art. You took away art. And art, I'll tell you why art's important, because in the beginning I went on a nice little rant about how art was essential. And you might say, well, why is art so essential? You know what I mean? Well, I can tell you that it's probably more essential than someone who serves a very unhealthy, fatty cheeseburger. Okay? I'll tell you why art is so important. Because art reminds us how much we all have in common with each other. And we're really not so different. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care your political party. If you don't have a political party, if you're white, black, Asian, Latino, when you sit in a comedy club, we're laughing at the same thing for a reason. Comedy is, I'll tell you what comedy is. Comedy is a reflection of people. When people laugh at a comic, they're not laughing at the comic. They're laughing at themselves. The comic's talent is the ability to bring that out in a very original way. For you to laugh. We're laughing because comedy is relating. If you can relate, you will laugh. And you got a group full of people all facing the same direction, looking at one person on stage performing, and they're all laughing. So what does that tell you about people? If we're laughing at things we relate to, we all seem to relate to the same fucking thing, don't we? you know,
Yeah.
you ever been in a comedy club with a stranger? Maybe you didn't, because some comedy clubs, they sit, if you go by yourself, they sit you with somebody you don't know, because the tables are small or whatever. You ever sit or with somebody, or maybe they're sitting way over there and you're laughing at something you saw? You look over and you make eye contact with them. You don't know this person. You've never spoken to them. You make eye contact with people, and because something is funny, because you both relate. And when you took away live entertainment, you took away that connection that human beings had. And what that was love. Everything comes from love.
Yep.
And it wasn't going to be hate that was going to save anything. Even people who are anti-racist were not helping the situation. You were trying to fight hate with hate. And hate never wins. Only love wins. And this world still needs saving. Hasn't gotten much better. And so that's why I started saying that only love can save the world. Because we can't fight with each other. We got to realize that there's someone else pulling the strings here, turning us all against each other. And I'm not saying you're going to be able to fix things on that higher scale, but you should at least try to fix things by spreading love in your small communities with your house, your family, then your friends, then your neighbor. And that spreads, man. It's contagious. Just like a virus is contagious, love is contagious. If you order a coffee, Kristy, if you go into Starbucks and you order a coffee and you're rude to the barista, you say, "Yeah, you made my coffee wrong. It's cold." And you know what I mean? Like, you guys always get it wrong. And then you leave. The next person who comes in and orders a coffee, who is a very sweet person, is going to get a very pissed off barista talking to them. And that cycle's going to go all day. You know? So if you got somebody who's nice, "Hey, you know what? Can you mind heating up my coffee? It's a little cold." No worries. You make 100 coffees a day. I understand every now and then one's going to get by you. Don't worry about it. Take your time. If you are a person, it's called spreading love. That's love right there. That's a human being understanding another human being and putting yourself in their shoes and just giving everybody the benefit of the doubt and being kind, and that will spread. Now the next person that comes in, they might be in a bad mood, and the barista might put them in a good mood because they just got that from somebody. That's what needs to be spread out there, not the negative stuff. So I go out trying to put everybody in a good mood. I perform all over the world wherever I can and spread this message that only love can save the world. And I do it in a very ironic way because some of my material is very hateful. So I'll be like hateful and I'll be like, we all gotta just love each other. It's kind of a very it plays well, and I think people get the idea.
Well, there's different kinds of love.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I did a little tarot card read. So you're on a spiritual-ish podcast,
Yeah.
Spiritual Travels of Firewolf. And I picked Isis, who's the goddess of love, before I got here to do a little open mic. And it's just interesting because
Shoot, we're losing you.
2004. Oh, I think it isn't my
I don't know, but
connection. Is it my heart connection?
It like completely froze there for a
I
second.
need to put some leads on.
So you got the I'm getting a message here that says your internet is unstable. Oh, I don't know, maybe it is me. Anyway.
Let me see. Let me try it this way. It happens. Can you see me?
No.
There I am.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So we got as far as you pulled the card, which is the goddess of love.
Yeah, the goddess of love, which is Isis. I'll say Isis for. And so it's just thinking about the different forms of love. Some forms of love are tough love. Some forms of love are the bitter truth spoken, which is the comic, or the sacred shaman of the tribe.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting, comics, we go around to different cities, even though we're in a lot of pain, and we try our fucking best to make people laugh. But I will say this, Augustino, I left LA because it was taking me far away from love. That's why I realized I had to leave LA, is because I was becoming something that I did not recognize anymore. And I recognized that, and I moved to Texas. And my form of love is, yes, I can spread love as a comic, but I have to clean up the roots of the tree.
Yeah.
I have to clean up my side of the fence. So that's why I'm out here in the metaverse right now.
Well, you were not in LA for a short time, and it already it took its toll on you. It'll do that.
Well, I become something not good, I want to be kind to people.
It'll have that effect on you. It'll bring the worst out in people. This town is, I'm sorry, it is full with a lot of fake people. A lot of people that pose to be caring. Everything they do is for caring, and it's a giant lie. You know, on social media they try to come off as they're only care about people. You know, I was in I was peeking in I'm in my neighborhood app. I don't know if people know what that is. I have the next door neighbor app. It helps me keep in touch with what's going on in my neighborhood because I travel a lot. And what I like to use it for is like, hey, there's a shady looking dude on this street. You know, be careful. He looks like this. Looks like he's trying to break into houses. That's what you want to use it for. But it's actually very amusing because everything's an argument. It's amusing and it's not. It's actually kind of disgusting. Like everything will be an argument. And it's just so much hate amongst these people in Los Angeles that claim to care about people so much. They're so wrong. And like today, someone posted in there, a 16-year-old girl posted in my neighborhood app, and she said, "Hey, I attend this so and so school in the neighborhood, and I'm a really good babysitter. I'm an experienced babysitter, and I just want anybody to know if you need a babysitter." And I saw that post and I went, I got to click on this one because even this will have people arguing with each other. So, of course, it doesn't ever let me down. Everybody's like, oh, well, thanks for letting us know. Sometimes I do need a babysitter. That's awesome. It's good to know you're here. I DM'd you. We'll keep in touch, that type of thing. And then there's one dude that goes, nice. I like it. An old school babysitter. He goes, what's up with all these old 50-year-old nannies that we have to babysit? He's like, I got 2 kids and I'll definitely be calling you. And then he probably didn't realize, maybe that was like a faux pas type thing, but I didn't know if he realized of how that came out. If he was just trying to be funny, like, oh, nice, like Adventures in Babysitting, old school, hiring the local teenager, you know what I mean? That was how people used to do it. That's probably how he met. But it just came out so wrong, and so all these people are like, the hell's wrong with 50-year-olds? What's wrong with an experienced woman who probably has kids? You know what I mean? And it's just, and then they're all just arguing back and forth, and it's like everything is an argument, And then another one I saw today is like somebody posted a picture of a guy standing in our, we have a local Rite Aid. I don't know if every place has Rite Aid, so your local Walgreens, CVS, pharmacy. And they posted his picture because he wasn't wearing a mask, and they posted took a picture close up right in his face, and they put the whole story about how they went up to the guy and told him that he has to put a mask on, and he told her that if she doesn't like, if it bothers her, that she shouldn't get close to him then, and she should go away and leave him alone. You know what I mean? And this of course has just been a huge explosion, and all the people in my neighborhood just, I don't understand why people don't wear masks. Just do it to help others. And then the next guy comes in and he's like, well, if masks work so great and you're wearing yours, why do you care if he's not wearing his? And then somebody else will come in. Oh my God, masks are not for you, it's for them, because we care for people. And listen, first of all, I got my opinions on the science of the mask, but that's not what I'm here to tell you. What I'm trying to tell you is, is that the arguments of the people in this city, and I'm sure it goes on everywhere, but people in LA try to tell you that they're good people, and everything is, well, we wear a mask for others. That's why we do it. How dare you be so careless? People lost their lives. They portray to be caring people, but these are the same people that will shit on each other about a babysitter. These are the same people that cut you off in traffic, or that will be rude to you while you're trying to order your coffee. I know you read my tweets and stuff like that. One I tweeted recently, which got not enough credit. I think my favorite tweets are never the ones that get any traction. So I thought this was hilarious. I wrote, I don't know if you saw this. I wrote, you guys want to wear the biggest, most obnoxious hat we can possibly find, go to the local coffee shop and not say thank you when people hold doors open for us? And then I wrote hipsters, like that's who said it. Which is basically every coffee shop in any hipster neighborhood, LA, Portland. It's a bunch of people with giant fucking hats that hang out in coffee shops and are really not polite people, just extremely rude
A,
and have
a
no
skinny
manners.
white beta male. You
Yeah,
know
oh,
what? But he's like a tiny,
yeah,
like
the
a
tiny
stick of
dudes
a
will have
man.
bigger hats than the chicks. Yeah, but it's guys, it's girls that, they wear. I remembered this tweet I did because I drove by a coffee shop today and I saw a chick standing out there with the biggest fucking red hat. It was like a big like sombrero red hat. And I'm not trying to make fun of someone's fashion, but it seems to be hipsters. They hang out. But regardless, this is what is around us in LA. It's people that just aren't friendly with each other. They're not nice to their neighbor, and they're trying to give people lessons on how to be a caring person. And I'm trying to tell you that it starts right here. You know what I mean? Stop trying to tell people what they should do or shouldn't do medically or wear on their face. Do I think your hat looks silly? Yes. Is it okay for me to tell you what to wear and what not to wear? Of course not. Wear the fucking biggest hat you want. If you like the way you look and it makes you feel great, fucking wear that shit, man. Own it. I love it. It's not my place to tell you what to wear and what not to wear. But you know what I mean? People's
It's fresh
faces.
hat season.
It
You
is.
wait, did you ever live in New York City? Fresh hat season
No,
is the
I didn't.
hot season. Fresh hat season, you have to have the hat that matches the shirt and the shoes and then the sweatpants. So that's an exception. Is fresh
Oh,
hat season in Washington Heights.
no, I don't think that that's what they were doing at all. This is a day. This is a daily thing, and people's faces are very personal. It's a very personal thing, and you can be the most like mask activist. I don't even want to say the word because it'll get pulled on YouTube. But but you know what I mean. Whatever activists, you can be the biggest help people, do whatever it takes to slow the spread activist, right? You don't know the feeling until it happens to you, how you would handle it. When someone tells you what to wear on your face, and you probably haven't had to experience that yet because you wear the mask everywhere. But, let's say you're out one day and you forgot it. You weren't even thinking about it. You wore it to the restaurant, but then you got up to go to the bathroom and you forgot it at the table. It will happen to the most mask-wearing person. You will be caught without your mask one day. And someone might come up to you and say, "Do you have a mask? Or you should be wearing a mask." And we will see how that makes you feel. Regardless of your views on things, your face is a very personal thing. And people telling you what you can and can't do with it doesn't feel good. And I wonder what everyone's response will be. What's your reaction? It just doesn't feel good. So,
Have you seen the Jim Brewer video?
I've seen all of them. I love Jim Brewer.
Oh my God, the more recent, it's like him, it's just his live video or like one he posted about the circus. So I
Yeah, I
think
just saw
that's
that one.
he's just
I just saw
saying, do
that
you
one.
see this circus? Oh my God, it's perfection.
I know.
I will say this, like here in Texas, the mask thing is not how LA and Texas are two different worlds
I
right now,
know.
completely two different worlds.
I know.
And it is a culture shock to go from LA to Texas because you have like this almost like ingrained, like, oh no, you're like worried about everything. Like when I moved directly to Texas, I was like worried, where's my mask? Like where's everything? You know,
Yeah, I know.
and a friend of mine, she talks about heart coherence, which is the same thing as levels save the world, but it's basically like the idea that the perimeter of 6 feet around us is actually the perimeter of our heart vibration. And really, what they're trying to do is create a matrice around us so that that prevents us from actually having heart connection. So the mask is something that also does that too.
I mean, I can see that happening. I believe that wholeheartedly, and agree with that. And you might have people that try to argue that that's mumbo jumbo, but I agree with it wholeheartedly. And if you don't believe in it and you think it's mumbo jumbo, you have to at least admit it's going to have its psychological effect. It has. You already know it has a psychological effect.
Yep.
So an emotional one comes with that. So you have to believe that's true. I mean, if you are in a unit, 6 feet away from everybody, what? How long before we're in a little glass box, or our little, individual little walking globes or bubbles, you know what I mean? Or just being 6 feet apart, it's
Okay.
in a mask or in your house or just separated from society will have a mental strain on you. So of course it'll have an emotional one.
I have a quick. I know that you probably. I know you're going somewhere tonight, but I know you were homeschooled, and your podcast is called
Yeah.
Homecast. Um, when you were homeschooled, were you in like a larger group, or were you just with your immediate siblings?
Just immediate. And we were all different ages, so we didn't even do it at the same time. It was just me and my oldest sister wasn't homeschooled, but the two other sisters above me were. So it was us three. That's it. But we wasn't even in at the same time because one of them's 4 years older than me, the other one's 2 years older than me. So we're different grades. So, but our mother sat with us every day in the morning, one by one, because we were all different grades. She couldn't teach us all the same
Well,
programs. We had programs mailed to the house. Now homeschooled is done online, but it was like a Catholic program. They mail us the books and the programs to the house and the assignments and the tests and basically my mom had to follow a structure of each courses to teach us day by day and in each subject. So they were all different for different grades, and she did that all on her own.
wow. Do
Yeah.
you feel like being homeschooled prepped you for this time of quarantine? Like, was it an isolating experience for you?
Um, no, not really. I feel that homeschool has prepared me for many things in life in the terms of having to teach yourself how to do a lot of stuff. Um, I feel that homeschooled has prepared me, but in terms of like the quarantine, no, not really. I've always had sort of a separation anxiety, and I think it's why I got married young, and I think it's why I got married again right away after the divorce because I didn't do very well with being alone actually. And it's probably because I came from a big family and I was always in a house with a lot of people. Um, but in the last couple of years, I have really learned to love my time alone with myself and really enjoy that. I've learned to really, really enjoy my own time. And it's actually been good on my relationship because my wife and I's relationship is not based on the fact that I simply can't be alone. It's based on that we like being together. Because when I do have a couple days to myself, I used to dread that. If I was alone, I'd be like, you guys want to come over and do something? I always had to do something with people. If somebody canceled, I'd be like, well, I can't go by myself. I got to see if anybody want to come over, and I grew out of that. I'm just really comfortable by myself for a few hours or even a couple days. It's me and the dog.
Dogs and I mean, did quarantine help build your relationship? Was
Yeah,
it
yeah, I think so. I feel that we had less communication problems. We were speaking to each other face to face every day. Less text messages. Things were not misunderstandings. They were just direct, and our communication skills has improved. You froze again. Ah, shoot, doesn't look like it's coming back.
I went out.
Yeah, totally
Can
froze
you
there
hear
for a
me?
second.
Yeah, casino.
It's starting to get bad. We should probably end it. Plus, I only got like 23% battery
Yeah,
on
we
my
should wrap.
laptop. So how do you normally
But
end
dude,
it?
I really appreciate you.
Oh, sure, my
Can you
pleasure.
hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I appreciate that you took the time. I know that I'm working on internet here. I'm working on all the tech stuff. So just
It
thank you
might be
for
me
your
too.
time and speaking with me.
Yeah, no worries. No, thank you for your
It's
time.
okay.
Thank you for letting me rant on and on and on. I know I talk a lot, but I don't know if that's a good guest or a bad guest.
Oh, I feel so bad because you had so much
Yeah, it's getting pretty bad. You're just
to
freezing
say.
nonstop.
What I'm going to do is pop off. I just wanted to say thank you guys. Thank you for listening to the Spiritual Travels of Firewolf and the Homeschool podcast. Very dog friendly podcast. So that's fucking rad. And Augustino Zoida for being an amazing guest. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Where can people find this podcast? It froze. Um, okay, guys. So yeah, Zoom was just having crazy bad issues. We lost her. It's I believe she said the gosh, why am I drawing a blank now? The I'll post it in the description. The traveling the
Recording in progress.
oh man, now Zoom wants to start to record again. Anyway, guys, I'll post it in the description. Her podcast, you guys can find it, and that's it. Thank you so much. She asked me to do her podcast, and I thought, like, yeah, well, I'll do it. But, we're going to talk about a lot of things that is our important subject. So we're going to have it also shared on the Homeschool podcast. So thank you guys very much for tuning in today. Please subscribe on YouTube. We're trying to build that up. Please do me a favor and help support the show by buying a t-shirt or sticker or something like that. You can get that at homeschoolpod.com. Click on merch. That's where you find the Only Love Can Save the World tour shirts and stickers, and it's kind of even if you don't know it has anything to do with a tour, it's actually kind of a cool, good message and logo for a sticker or a t-shirt. And it's homeschoolpod.com. Click on merch, click on tour to see upcoming shows, click on sponsors to help support the show, like Uni Pizza Ovens and True Dog. All right, sorry, my very stupid internet, and now Zoom has muted me. It's being very distracting. I'm going to go ahead and end this show. I apologize. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe. Please tell a friend. It gets real here at Homeschool Podcast, where we document the journey. Don't forget that only love can save the world. I'm Augustino Zoida. I'll see you next time here at Homeschool Podcast. Peace. Homeschool Podcast.
Homeschool. The Homeschool Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I don't want to do that at all.